This is still the Polity, and we are reaching you live from the Abuja studios of Kaftan TV. Right now, I have two gentlemen with me in the studio, and with them, we are going to be analyzing the issues making the rounds between the EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and the embattled former governor of Kogi State, His Excellency YAHAYA Bello. And joining me to do justice to the issues today, by my right-hand side is Ambassador Samuel Danjuma, an APC chieftain. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you on the program. And by my left-hand side, Dr. Abdullahi Suleiman, a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And I'm going to, they say, give honor to whom honor is due. I'm going to start by my left-hand side, from my doctor's side today. Considering the fact that former Governor YAHAYA Bello is a member of the APC, and do you see this as a political witch hunt? If it is a political witch hunt, former Governor YAHAYA Bello is a member of the APC. Who is witch hunting whom? I just want us to, set a precedent for the conversation today.
Thank you for starting with this question. You see, without apology to any quota, as far as I'm concerned, if we are to be a realist, we should be a realist. And looking at the sequence of events, it has a third party and political influenced issue. Number one, let's look at it from the legal point of view. We have some people that are enjoying the same legal process, you understand now, that the court have restrained EFCC from arresting them, you understand now, or prosecuting them. A case study of this that can make a reference to is the case of what Mohammed Bello Metawale and Ablaze Viari. They are still enjoying that process.
We can also cite former governor of Rivers State, Governor Dr. Peter Odili.
So now in this case, why is it that YAHAYA Bello case is a different boil game altogether? That is to tell you that there is something fishing beneath the water. And let's open the whole thing open to the public, let them know. It was exactly the second day His Excellency YAHAYA Bello had a meeting with His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Lagos, that it was known to the public his political ambition of aspiring for the national chairman of APC. You understand now, because that seat is squarely meant for who? For the North Central. And if you look at the political gladiators from the North Central, it is YAHAYA Bello that stand to enjoy that portfolio, being because of his dynamism and radicalism as far as political dimension to this is believed to be in Nigeria. Understand now? Let's look at it all together. This is number one. Then the issue of Ganduje. Ganduje know that, look, you have the only branch he's enjoying today as a politician within the state and at federal level is him being the chairman of APC. This is a conflicting idea that will have related to this issue. Secondly, again, there is another incident. There are some, I will call them cliques of Ichilium that are within the corridor of power within the APC that believe if YAHAYA Bello become the APC chairman, as far as they are concerned, they will never be able to make it through because they know who YAHAYA Bello is. So they decided, understand now, to form a strong alliance against the candidacy of YAHAYA Bello at this premature stage.
In a nutshell now, you are trying to say this is YAHAYA Bello's nemesis coming back at him. And if you say that this is a political witch hunt, who is witch hunting whom?
Very good. If you look at it, let me tell you, there is two incidents that are happening here we need to see. I will take you the history back to 2015 after the demise of his blessed memory, Prince Abubakar Audu. There was a drama that unfolded in the court that rules in favor of YAHAYA Bello to be the next candidacy for APC then, instead of against Falake. And Falake was the right-hand person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Okay. Case number one. Case number two here is a look. During the primary of 2023, APC primary election, presidential election, after sitting, all the candidacy from the north were meant to step down for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, except one person, which is YAHAYA Bello. You understand now? The strong, family that said, look, he have the political right and he have the right to understand now by the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to contest for that seat. So nobody could make him convince him to go down. So he has gone against what the interest of those that are within the corridor of power today, or that are enjoying what the right of power today. So this a second aspect of it. If you look at it today again, some people are alleging that because Mori Ajaka, a political opponent of Orodo, and we know that Orodo is the right man hand, understand now, is a political of Bello. And I will tell you that he has mentored political and leadershiply this guy, Orodo, to be who is he today. And this issue between Mori Ajaka and Orodo, Mori Ajaka camp are saying it is a fight between Mori Ajaka and Bello, not Orodo case. So now the issue here, some people are looking at it because the sister-in-law to Ajaka is a security advisor to Mr. President, which is Nuhu Ribadu. You understand now? So could also use his influence in this regard, you understand now, to look at how they can diminish the political relevancy of what of Bello within the national level. So, but before I forge ahead, if you are talking of Nuhu Ribadu, I have known him quite all right since was appointed as the maiden chairman of EFCC. He is a man that don't compromise, you understand now, no matter how close you are to him in relationship or whatsoever. So I downplay this, and I don't think nobody will go with the sensible law and use his office for political gain at the grassroots because of his in-law. It has nothing to do with that. That's my belief.
Okay, so now, Doctor, I have to hold you on for a second. Ambassador Samuel, let's look at what is your general outlook on this whole situation. Dr. Suleiman has made us to believe from his submission here now that there could be, an insider gang up against former Governor YAHAYA Bello, probably because of his personality or because of his political interest. What are your thoughts on this? And I want to ask you two questions, and I'd like you to unbundle them in one breath. And secondly, former Governor YAHAYA Bello obtained a restraining order from the Kogi State High Court, and restraining the EFCC from arresting and prosecuting him. The EFCC have an arrest warrant from a federal high court in the FCT. These two courts are two courts of coordinate jurisdiction, meaning the state, the federal high court cannot be restrained by the state high court from from issuing a warrant, provided there's a criminal case has been brought to the fore. What are your thoughts on this?
Let me start with the last question.
Okay.
I think most of the problem we're having in this part of the world is caused by our lawyers. I'm sure the judge in FCT who gave that warrant of arrest was not aware of the case in Kogi.
That is indictment on the.
Wait, I'm driving somewhere, because if the judge was aware, the judge would have not given such a conflicting judgment. Now, what our lawyers do is this. Let's go back to this. This has a complete political undertone to it.
Yes,
I'm going somewhere now.
You and Doctor are speaking so much about political.
That's where I'm going to.
And I want the both of you to come out in clear terms what the political.
That is where I'm driving to.
Okay.
The lawyer of the EFCC prosecuting YAHAYA Bello is also the lawyer defending the SDP candidate at the tribunal. So it's like seeing that our case has lost its bearing, and what do we do is to cause a distraction within the system. Now, the first question I want every right thinking Nigeria to ask is not just about YAHAYA Bello. Like Doctor said here now, we have 3 previous governors who are enjoying the same order of the court from being prosecuted.
Okay.
Now, why is YAHAYA Bello's case different? That's one. 2,
okay.
Can the spokesperson of the EFCC come out? I spoke here on the program last week. I said I was happy when I saw that the new henchman in the EFCC was a lawyer, not just a lawyer who has had a good record, a lawyer who is up to the level of a son, a lawyer who I felt by this time the EFCC will no longer be doing this media trial any longer, but they will make their go for investigation, get their facts, and get to court. Now look at the case of the former Attorney General of the Federation. As of last week Friday, the FCC lost that case against him. Why? Because you rush to the court, you rush to the public for public. So I want the spokesperson of the FCC to come out in clear terms to tell Nigerians if there's any written summon or any written invitation that has been served on His Excellency Adeniyi Bello and he refused to appear. That's one. Two, is there a substantive court order or not? If there is one, then what is the EFCC appealing at the Court of Appeal? Okay. Now, why the rush? Today, that case was supposed to come up in the appeal court today, which at the end of the day did not come up. So there's a lot of political undertone to this. See, every young man should aspire to be like Adeniyi Bello. And my reasons are this one. My reasons are, he's a dogged fighter, he's a man who is courageous and is ready to challenge the status quo. He did it in Kogi, he succeeded, he did his 8 years, he left, and he came back and make sure that he brought in somebody who he tutored and trained to go with the master plan he has. But then, at the end of the day, so
the former governor YAHAYA Bello has the question of fraudulent activities to the tune of about 80.2 billion.
The beauty of it is still an allegation.
But then, yes, it is still an allegation. Nigerians are asking now. YAHAYA Bello, the dogged fighter. Now, YAHAYA Bello, the man, the man every young Nigerian should aspire to be like. But the anti-graft agencies are saying, we have an allegation against you. Come forward and prove yourself. YAHAYA Bello is nowhere to be found. Now Nigerians are saying that if you have not committed an offense, why are you running away from justice?
He is not running away from justice. Let's not mingle this whole thing up. I don't appreciate the idea where some people sit in the comfort of their bedroom and turn their bedrooms to courts. You said something. Wait. Okay. Now, I have approached the court for the court to defend my fundamental human rights. Okay. And you expect me, when I have not been summoned, to now by myself disobey the same court order that I went to request. This is the thing playing out here. If that court order has been vacated, I put it to you, it won't take His Excellency Adeniyi Bello 1 hour to make himself available at the EFCC. But until then, he is bound by that order not to disobey the order which he seeks from the court. So it's high time we stop mingling up this whole thing. Now see, when I say YAHAYA Bello should be celebrated, I know what I'm talking about. Okay. By the time YAHAYA Bello was coming into office as of 2014, as of 2015, he came in for January 27, 2016, precisely. Kogi State was indebted to the tune of over 48 billion naira. The dollar was changing at 197 naira by then, officially. YAHAYA Bello in his 8 years left, and as of March last year, with the dollar changing at 419 naira 25 kobo, YAHAYA Bello left Kogi State with the debt of 91 billion. This shows a reduction. This shows as a prudence. Came and met for if you multiply. If you use the same exchange rate of 2023 to check what that money would have been, over 100 something billion. Okay. Right? But YAHAYA Bello was able to manage the resources of the state. So, see, what is happening to YAHAYA Bello is that when I see this trend of the supporters of the candidate of the SDP, Murtala Jaka, shouting heavens for YAHAYA Bello to be persecuted and the rest of them, and I ask a simple question. This same person was one of the persons who boasted on national TV that he single-handedly brought YAHAYA Bello. So are you not telling us that what you brought today, now you're not telling us that you gave us the wrong product? Is that what they're telling us? See, YAHAYA Bello should be celebrated every other day. Young people should aspire to be like YAHAYA Bello because he's one man that has attacked the status quo. He has been able to break through and has been able to make progress. And I put it to you, They are scared of Yahaya Bello. They know what Yahaya Bello will do when he gets to the national scene, and that's why they are doing everything possible to make sure that. But I put it to you that the Yahaya Bello I know, who is the dogged fighter, will always come out victorious at the end of it all.
All right, now, Doctor, I want to go back to what you said earlier. You mentioned 3 former governors that are enjoying this restraining order from the court, restraining the EFCC from arresting and prosecuting them. Is that enough reason for Yahaya Bello not to answer to the allegations before him right now? That is one. Secondly, if Governor Yahaya Bello, the EFCC are saying you have a question of 80.2 billion naira hanging on your neck, come forward and answer to this question. The EFCC will not flog you. The EFCC will not bite you. Why is the governor running? He has been declared wanted. His passport and NIN, everything has been flagged by the Nigerian Immigration Service. That in itself is a big dent on the image of Nigeria, on Nigeria's image on the international scene, because one would consider that Yahaya Bello, former Governor Yahaya Bello, is a product of the law. He used to be a custodian of the law. So if there is anybody who shouldn't be scared of facing the law, it should be a man like former Governor Yahaya Bello. We saw former Governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, when EFCC were after him. He took himself to the EFCC. So what are your thoughts on this?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, this issue you are taking of 80.2 billion is still an allegation. That is number one. Is that not enough reason for him to bring himself forward? Allegation. Is that not enough reason for him to bring himself forward? At least for his image, for his personality. Allegation against me, you understand now? Allegation could be wrong, could be right. Understand now? You don't throw yourself into a public domain for public interrogation. Understand now? Okay. That is not the best of public relation in the caliber of who of Yahaya Bello. Because when you are talking of leadership in Nigeria today, in his own capacity, he is a leader in his own right, and he deserves to be respected internationally. And let me tell you, quite interesting, I have here clearly condemned the internal operation of EFCC. You understand now? In the first place, looking at the sequence of events, they said this case happened in November 2015, when Yahaya Bello was not yet sworn as a governor. Okay. They went back again to review the same case and changed it to February 28. You understand? And the same issue now. They went to court. The issue here that is before the court. You understand now? There is no court order setting this aside. No, you still want to arrest this guy. You understand now? Why? The question why? Let's look at it. I mentioned 2 cases or 3 cases, you understand now, enjoying the same word, court restraint. Why Yahaya Bello? Is it because Yahaya Bello is from Kogi State, not Kogi, not Central? Is it because this Hausa Fulani or Hausa from the core north? You understand now? That is one question to be answered. And if you look at it again, why is it that one of the lawyers, so highly respected, said that the Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice of the Federation, understand now, have given a serious warning that there should be no conflicting judgment between court of the same hierarchy. You understand? Federal High Court, State High Court are the same hierarchy. So what are we saying here? That shows there is a serious lacuna in our criminal justice system that need to be rectified. Doctor, I need to hold you on for a second. Talking about the criminal justice system, some years ago in a case between ex-governor Orji Uzor Kalu and the EFCC, the Supreme Court made it clear that the Federal High Court cannot be prevented by the State High Court from trying a citizen. Another case we can cite to that effect is the case between Uwazurike and the FRN. I'm sure you can recall. I'm sure you can recall this case. So now, it's not. You understand now? You should not infringe on his fundamental. So on that premise now, excuse me. So on that premise now, that the State High Court, has given a restraining order that the EFCC should not infringe on his fundamental human rights. Does that prevent the former governor from
answering to criminal allegations.
The same court of coordinate jurisdiction. I'm trying to, what the court in Kogi said is this, that the court in Kogi said the EFCC has no right, has been restricted, sorry, let me use that word, has been restricted from arresting the person of Adeniyi, former governor of Kogi, Adeniyi Bello, but with the leave of the court, the EFCC can arraign him. That means you can give him invitation, he will appear in court, but not being arrested.
But the same law grants the EFCC the authority, you know, to go to a public jurisdiction to seek
You see, there is the use of terminology, you understand now, that we are used to, and the legal terminology that we are not used to in the common, within the common citizen in Nigeria. So it is a learning process, and we have gained a lot within the case between P2OB and APC, or the Mr. President at the Supreme Court. You understand? It was made, and the judgment was given in the public domain throughout the case trial period and the judgment. Now, let me tell you, what I want us to understand is that, look, the model of operandi of EFCC in its own establishment is going against the principle of what the act that established EFCC itself. It said it's an economic and crime, financial crime commission. You understand now? So this is not a financial crime commission. It's what? Is the case of YAHAYA Bello in this case, understand now, supposed to be handled by ICPC.
How do you mean this is not an economic? Excuse me, doctor. If you say this is not an economic, if you say this is not an economic and financial crime, part of the laws that establishes the EFCC is that the EFCC have the right to arrest and prosecute anybody who commits a financial infringement with the intent to enrich himself. We are talking about 80.2 billion naira now. You have not responded objectively to my question. If Governor YAHAYA Bello, if he says that, okay, EFCC, I am not guilty of this allegation, why are you running?
YAHAYA Bello is not running. He is following the due process and the court order given to him. And let me tell you, in the first place, I told you, look, today, in my own right, I am a qualified and a full ambassador of this country. Let me tell you, in the first place, there is a conflict of what? Of an act that established ICPC and EFCC. You understand, overlapping and inflicting, contrary to one another. That is number one. In this case, let me answer your point clear. There have not been formal invitation, that have been sent to YAHAYA Bello Adoza. You understand now? Asking to come and answer some question in the EFCC. That is number one. And number two, looking at the leadership quality and style of operation, as far as EFCC is concerned, if you have invited somebody of that caliber in Nigeria and is not responding, you take it to what? You establish and have an open invitation in the pages of newspaper. That is why we do see open letter to Mr. President. And what are we talking about EFCC? If he refused in the first place, and look at the conflicting idea again, YAHAYA Bello is enjoying some security machineries that are guiding his personality and his home innocent now from the IG and his DSS. Now they have withdrawn them, and they are now saying that why will these people obstruct the arrest of what? Of that's contradiction of what? Of operation. Now the people that are meant to what? To protect you, understand, and defend your interest, understand, and your security 24 hours. Now, are you saying those people have been asked to arrest you, understand now, because EFCC are there? No, they must obey, you understand now, their preliminary objection in what? In defending the security of what? Of YAHAYA Bello, Adoza Bello. That is number one. And number two, let me tell you, if EFCC really want to arrest YAHAYA Bello, they knew quite alright that the YAHAYA Bello was not in zone 4. You understand now? Let me tell you what happened there. Do you have any proof to this effect that former Governor YAHAYA Bello was not in zone 4 that very day? Because we saw the convoy of the sitting governor, in the state, who
who it is alleged now that he aided the escape of Governor YAHAYA Bello. Just a minute, to aided the escape of former Governor YAHAYA Bello, and by so doing has committed an abuse of power by obstructing justice. What are your thoughts on this?
Let me tell you, legality.
And I want us to establish if you have evidence. Let me tell you to the fact that YAHAYA was not involved.
Let me tell you. We have this moral judgment. You understand now that in a real and ideal situation, legality should complement what? Morality.
Okay.
In a situation where legality becomes the issue of power, you understand now, then we are losing to outside to anarchy. You understand now, whereby we become the Banana Republic. Let me tell you, in Benghazi, if the EFCC knew quite alright here, Bello was there, within that time when Uklo was there, before the arrival of Udodo, they will have used their apparatus, understand now, to have get him out, fish him out of that place. That is number one. We see the case of EFCC and Dini Malai. I'm coming. Let me tell you. That is number one. And number two, the arrival of His Excellency Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododos saved a lot of lives, because he is the chief security officer of the state and the accounting officer of that state for which is concerned. That place has been barricaded because a lot of Kogi individuals are there, you understand now, trying also to fight and show their solidarity support to Bello as far as Bengali that day is concerned. So for him to have been there, he has been alerted that this is what is going between Kogi and the EFCC, and he came there to calm the situation down. Immediately he left there, he make all those guys to leave the place, and the EFCC honorably leave the place. And let me tell you, empirically, there was no any evidence to show that, look, I came to spirit it out or YAHAYA Bello. You understand now? That was the case. If that is the case, then let me tell you, we are talking of what? Of comfort zone. If EFCC are so professionally allowed, I challenge EFCC, why won't they go to Okene in GRA and arrest YAHAYA Bello since she has handed over the instrument of Bona to Ahmed Ododo? Because you are taking advantage of a comfort zone. That should not be what you did. YAHAYA Bello has been in Okene, he has been in Lokoja, they didn't have in Lokoja, they didn't have in Okene. Why would they try that in Okene? That was it.
Let me hold you on for a second and go back to Ambassador. Now, if the doctor here said that there are no empirical evidences to substantiate the fact that former Governor YAHAYA Bello was in that building that very day, and there are no proofs to justify the allegations that Governor Ododo aided YAHAYA Bello to escape that very day. He also said that Governor Ododo, he came there to calm the situation, but he never spoke a word to the protesting Kogites at the venue of that standoff that very day. He never stepped out of his vehicle that very day. So how do you calm a situation when you never even spoke a word to the people? What are your thoughts on this? I'm talking about clashes between security agencies, and if the EFCC really wanted to, long ago before Governor Ododo arrived there, they could have taken him. I want to remind you, sometimes June, July last year, there was a standoff between the EFCC and the DSS when they made an attempt to arrest the former DSS boss at Awolowo in Ikoyi, Lagos, which this present administration, President Tinubu, has said in clear times that such occurrences will not be tolerated from security agencies. What are your thoughts on this?
Now, first thing first, you talked about the governor not stepping out of his vehicle. There's one thing I want you to understand, that when a father arrives home and there's dispute, the presence of the father speaks volume. The governor's presence at that venue would have already given confidence to the protesters that the governor is here, so therefore everything will go smoothly. He doesn't have to come out to speak to the people for them to understand that. Now, the EFCC that I and you know would have had drones to capture even from the sky, to see when His Excellency Adeniyi Bello was entering into the vehicle of this person. Is there any pictures of that anywhere? There's none. The EFCC you're talking about, we remember when Rochas Okorocha was trying to run for president in 2022, what happened in Wuse 2. The EFCC, even with Rochas security aides, went as far as removing his roof and coming in from the roof to make sure that Rochas was apprehended. So the truth is this: I think the EFCC acted on hearsay by saying, or assumption, that Yahaya Bello should be in his house. We were forgetting the fact that Yahaya Bello has more than one wife. So it's possible he might be in any of the houses at the same at that time, not even the house in Zone 4. So let's see. It's high time we said. I said something earlier. I said this is not just about His Excellency Governor Adeniyi Yahaya Bello. It's about Nigerians, because if this is not corrected, nobody knows who is next. The question is this: if we have 3 former governors enjoying the same court order, why is that of Adeniyi Yahaya Bello different? Is it because he's not, like doctor said, he's not from the corner? Is it because they know his person, that this is a dogged fighter and somebody that you cannot twist his arms, whereby if you allow him into this position which he seek, he's going to be an issue for them? They should come out clean and tell Nigerians. And the EFCC, my question back to EFCC again is this: is there any written summon? Yahaya Bello was guided by the DSS, was guided by the police. You don't need any other to find where Yahaya Bello is, and there's substituting summon where you can use the, like doctor said, do you bring this of newspaper to publish it that Yahaya Bello has been summoned and he refused to come? Has it been shown to anybody? No. And have you also asked yourself this question: why has the EFCC been quiet since on Wednesday, after the 2 declared wanted and the deed of him, Yahaya Bello declared wanted? EFCC hasn't come out to say anything yet, because I'm sure but EFCC have gone back and they have said that
but then the EFCC have also filed an appeal which was supposed to be subject to hearing today. If they come out saying anything, that would be something.
Okay, so they would have come out. They won't come out to say anything because we should do this, but they could go. What was the rush? Why not wait for the judgment to be entered today? If there's no hand blowing the breeze behind. So my brother, there's a political undertone to this, and this is what I want everybody to understand. It's not about Yahaya Bello today. Yahaya Bello has said it, and I keep saying it to tomorrow. Did excellently well as governor of Kogi State. There are lots of projects there for him to see. The Wumi erosion site was a hell, a nightmare for years. Yahaya Bello came and resolved it. The issue of debt in Kogi, Yahaya Bello was even awarded by IMF and the rest of them for being prudent and being able to manage resources of Kogi State. So it's high time we stop pulling our own down. Instead, we should celebrate this man and give him more assignments to do for the nation.
Okay, then thank you so much, Ambassador. Our time is far spent now, but I still have about a minute each for the both of you to make your final submissions. On the final note now, what this kind of incidents back and forth between these between our security operatives, between former governors always rushing to the courts to seek injunctions preventing relevant authorities from inviting them, from possibly trying them. What are the implications of this on the image of Nigeria, Nigeria as a country in the international scene? I'm going to give you 60 seconds to try to do justice to it before I go over to Ambassador.
We have no respect for leaders. We have no respect for elders.
Even if these leaders have criminal allegations hanging on their necks.
Ask your question.
Okay.
We have no respect for our future leaders. Understand now? And we have no respect for what our legal or judicial institutions. And we have no respect of respecting the system that operate internationally within the 21st century, within our institution, that is the EFCC. EFCC have been turned to a toothless bulldog used for political, winch hut. You understand now? As far as you are not within the system of some political echelon within the corridor of power, today I am telling you that, look, as far as we are concerned, we need to redesign, go back to the board, and let's look at the activities of EFCC and ICPC, understand now, so that we can have a sense of direction and redirect their policies and activities and the operation of operandis as far as EFCC is concerned. But I'm telling you today, within the public domain, EFCC has lost it all in terms of image building, in terms of record keeping,
Thank you so much, Dr. Abdullahi Suleiman. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdullahi Suleiman. Your final thoughts on this? What are the implications of this higgy-haga on the reputation of Nigeria on the international scene? In 60 seconds.
I think the issue with the EFCC now is high time you do a proper investigation. Not these media trials that, and this is what these are the reasons why you see former governors going to court to get court injunctions, because most of these trials or this investigation of USA are just witch hunt to hunt political opponents, and it's high time the EFCC itself put his house in order, do a proper investigation. The issue of Kogi, the Kogi state government has come out to say none of our money is missing. So at the end of the day, why will you be taken to court to prosecute this person? So you might go to court and the issue, it will be as good as what happened with the former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, whereby the EFCC came to court and said they don't have sufficient evidence. So it's high time they do a proper job, do a proper investigation, and not just rush to the media and do a media trial. And with that said, EFCC will be respected for what the organization was meant and the essence for which the organization was created. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Samuel Danjuma, APC chieftain, for your time on the show today, and also Dr. Abdullahi Suleiman, renowned public affairs analyst. Really do appreciate your time on the program today. Thank you so much for your time, and we hope to have you some other time to continue to buttress on this conversation again. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Viewers at home, this will be our offering on the show today. Do well to join us again, same time, same station tomorrow. My name remains Francis Adeniyi. Have a nice day.